Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hateful Eight Radio and Merry Christmas Eve. Today, I'm joined by Brandon Berger. Hello, Brandon.
We're out here spreading holiday cheer, bro.
Yeah, of course. If anyone's feeling lonely on this lovely Christmas Eve, we're here to spread good cheer, make you uplift spirits. But I think we'll get right into it. We got a fun little 2 minute drill segment we're going to start off with. I'll ask, um, me and Brandon will go back and forth asking questions. I'll get it started here. And I wanted to, we're getting towards the end of the season, so I was thinking, like, why not look back a little bit on the season? And I wanted to ask you, what team not named the Eagles has been your favorite to watch?
Watch.
Yeah.
I really like watching the Bears. I think most NFL fans have a soft spot for the Bears. Caleb Williams, he kind of feels like a Josh Allen type, a little bit less like physical,
Mm.
but I honestly think Caleb Williams has honestly even a higher ceiling than Josh Allen. So I don't think he's a better quarterback than Josh Allen, uh, like talent wise. So I just really like watching the Bears, them being good. Like you can never be mad at that. Even though they beat my Birds, like
Yeah, it's good for football.
it's good for football. So I'm gonna have to go with the Bears here. Dylan, can the Patriots win a playoff game? So if they remain where they are, they would most likely play the Texans, and they have the two spot. But if they regain the one seed, Um, they could potentially play like the Steelers, the Chargers, the Bills, teams like that. So with that in mind, do you think this Patriots team can win one playoff game?
Okay, I think they could, but it's very dependent on who they play. Like, I could see them sneaking out a win against the Texans. I know people have been glazing, but like the Texans had a game where they were really struggling, honestly, with the Raiders of all teams. Which I mean, I guess maybe the Raiders have been like scrappy every once in a while, which is kind of weird. Um, but I could see them squeaking out a win against the Texans. Um, Maybe the Steelers because I don't know how much like magic that Aaron Rodgers has left. Like that Lions game seemed um a little fluky. But really those two teams, I'm like, all right, maybe you have like a chance. And then other than that, I'm like, I don't know about all that. So that's my thoughts. I think most teams, um, most teams, they're gonna lose to, but they could maybe squeeze out a win. Brandon. Now looking forward a little bit, which franchise do you think you have like the most hope for improvement next year?
Next year, let me take hope. Low key, let me take the Jets.
Oh, that's
Uh,
so tough.
I think the Jets, we talked about them when their big trades went through. I think there's always this is right now is like a really good time for college talent. They've got good picks. Next season, they've got more picks the season after that. Uh, the Jets front office is historically not that good, but I think this is definitely a team that could improve. I'm not gonna say like a team like the Giants because I think the Giants like genuinely are like decent, but like they have no players left.
Mhm.
But like a team that would actually like improve their roster, I think the New York Jets.
Real quick, this is I know this isn't 2 minute drill. Ask, but I want to ask you a quick follow up question. So, what are your thoughts on the Saints for next year?
The Saints,
Yeah, I mean,
I
I'm
think,
looking at Tyler Shuck. I'm looking at Chris Olave as a good wide receiver. One maybe high end wide receiver two. I personally think they have like a chance to do something. Um, I don't know what
yeah,
your
I
thoughts are.
think, yeah, I don't know if I'm sold on Tyler Shuck yet,
Fair.
and I don't know if the Saints have what they need to like suddenly like be good, especially considering like the Bucks and the Panthers, like the NFC South isn't like a total like nothing burger conference anymore.
Yeah.
Or division anymore. So I think that they're kind of fighting a bit of an uphill battle. That can happen, but me personally, I don't think it will.
Okay.
Um, Dylan, after honestly a pretty lackluster performance out of Mick this week, we'll get to that. Would you consider this a successful season for Mick, even though he missed the championship game as the one seed?
Wow, that's difficult because I mean, I've been saying like I think Mick on paper had like the best team um for most of the season. I think like you're looking back at it, you're really uh like that trade that we were talking about the his like Achilles heel like that throwing away George Pickens which clearly it seems Pickens is was able to outperform CeeDee Lamb in the second half of the season. Like it just, which I mean, you can't like in hindsight that's hard to see, but um, like it's just pretty brutal. I think as a where's the lamb sauce enjoyer, you were really hoping for at least your first championship berth. So I know it's high expectations, but I think Mick is one of the better managers in the league. So I would tentatively say no. I think this they did not make meet expectations. It's below expectations for him this year. Sorry to Mick. I think you're a great manager, and I'm excited to see what you can do in years ahead. But this was just a brutal way to go out,
Yeah, yeah, it really was. You hate to see your boy
right?
end up
Like
like that.
losing a mid off to like lay down the law. I mean, that's just
Yeah,
brutal. So.
yeah, it's rough.
But last question for you, Brandon, is who has been your favorite rookie in the NFL to watch this year?
My favorite rookie. Um, you know, there's this guy in Jacksonville named Bashal Tootin
Ooh.
who he went to this little college called Virginia Tech, and every time he gets his hands on the ball, it seems like he's a do-it-all running back. You know, he's not even the number one guy in Jacksonville, but he makes his touches count. I I always love watching Virginia Tech legend Bajal Toon touch the ball, man. He's scored like what, six touchdowns on the season or
That's
something
a
like
great
that.
question. But no, he
Like
has like I as a Jags fan, I could really see us like seeing what he can do and just sort of like projecting it forward, looking ahead and being like, with even though ETN has had an incredible season, I could see them being like, I we don't want to spend the money to bring back ETN and sort of just say like Bayshaw might just be our guy going forward, which would be really cool. He
that would
has four
make me so
touchdowns on the
happy.
season.
That would make me so happy, bro.
Yeah, I could really see it happening. I like it would be so sick, but who knows? We'll see.
Speaking of college, Dylan, takeaways from the JMU game against Oregon on Saturday.
Takeaways is the group of five deserves to be in the college football playoffs. Um, Good teams win, great teams cover. And that's exactly what we did. We covered the spread. Um, I don't know. It's like we put up 34 points. That's like tied or like up there with like the most points that have like been put up in the playoffs yet. Like against Oregon, we picked off Dante Moore twice. Um, like another thing, like what's so great about college football is like the fact that it's not professional and like trick plays and like stupid shit working and like that double pass to like trick play was like like truly cinema. Like I was jumping up and down at the function. I think JMU was like good for football and good for college football. So I had a great time seeing them there. And obviously we didn't have um the highest expectations, but it's not professional sports. So like it shouldn't be held to that standard. And I think it was a good showing from JMU. Um, well, I think that concludes. Oh yeah, that should conclude our 2 minute drill. Um, So with that being said, we had a very exciting semi slash
Dude,
toilet bowl.
oh my
Um,
God, the
dude,
cinema.
it genuinely is. So honestly, with just how like great the the toilet bowl is, I honestly kind of want to leave that to as last, even though usually I would cover the
We should absolutely leave it for last.
yeah, like usually you would leave that like go first and then talk about the actual playoff games, but the toilet bowl was just so good that I think we'll start off with Enzo and Alec. Brandon, you wanna take us away on Enzo and Alec?
Would love to. So this was honestly kind of everyone's like, you know, Empire versus, the Rebel Alliance like game. I
Hmm.
think as much as we clown on Alec on this pod for his roster construction, like going in, this is an expansion team, this is a fun team. And Enzo, lovely guy, but he is a master rage baiter. So
Dude.
like no one wanted this guy to win. And honestly, just a pretty sad end to Alec's season. I guess he's still gonna play for the third place game, but ended up 158 to 124 in favor of Enzo. You know, again, we were saying last week that Alec's entire team is kind of does Josh Allen have a good game, and he put up 6.9 points. So and it's not like the rest of his team was like horrible. He got 10 points from his kicker, 11 from his defense. None of his players, except for his tight end, put up less than 8 points. In fact, two of his players put up 20 points. So, this was just a kind of a rough loss for such a fun team. But hats off to Alec for going the distance. Your first year in the league, like there's a couple franchises, myself included, who haven't even got there, and I was here in the easier era, the 18 era. So shout out to Alec. Sad to see him go out like that, but that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah, no, especially like with these teams like with people I'm like less familiar with or just like people I like whether it be like Alec or John. It's been like fun to see um like their like ball knowledge improve and like them like be like making more moves on waivers and stuff throughout the year that like it like warms my heart as a commissioner. I'm like, wow, like the league is evolving before my very eyes. It warms my heart. So I'm so glad that we got to see an expansion team in the semis. I think moving on though, I think you touched on that game perfectly. So I'll just take us straight away into me and Mick's game, which was admittedly a bit of a mid off. Um,
It was the mid off. Every other game
yeah,
was like low key pretty good except this one.
yeah, it was just disappointing. I mean, we're the two like hateful South representatives, and we really kind of just shit the bed. Um, it's disappointing to see. I mean, I think we're both great competitors, but like everyone like sometimes you just don't have your best game, and we had some of our worst games playing each other. But I mean, I don't even know where to start with me, like whether it be Jackson Dart's 1 point game or Josh Jacobs' 4.8 point game or Brian Thomas putting up 3 points for me. Wandale Robinson putting up five. Like you say that you say all those numbers, and you're like literally in like what world do you win this game? And the world in which you win this game is Mick doing just as bad. With Javonte Williams and Jalen Coker. Shout out Jalen Coker. He did great in the game, but not in fantasy. DeAndre Swift, Marvin Harrison, um, Jason Myers, his kicker had like a season low. Um,
Yeah, I mean the poor guy, like
it was
the
brutal.
guy, and if even if you look at his bench, like Kenneth Walker,
Oh,
season high 25 points. Alec Pierce had
I didn't
nearly
realize Alec
25
Pierce is on
points.
his bench.
Yes, Alec Pierce had almost 25 points, and like instead you've got Marvin Harrison and Jalen Coker combining for, 10 points. And Jalen Coker's doing the majority of the work there, by the way. Potomac
Yeah.
Falls legend. And the funny thing about this game is that going into Monday Night Football, Nick needed a like damn near 50-point game out of Christian McCaffrey, and like he got 32. Like he was
Dude,
got
I was still
close.
nervous. I genuinely was still nervous. I was like, you literally like never know what to expect out of Christian McCaffrey, and he is fully capable of having like a generational game. So, oh no, like I was checking, and then obviously like the Niners were just driving on the Colts like with pure ease. The game ended 48-27. I was like, I'm gonna like shit my pants if he finds a way to win. But I think the biggest guy for lay down the law had to be Chris Olave with um a what it's not season high for him, but I think this is the best he's ever done in his time in the league in fantasy. So huge shout out to Chris Olave, 36-point game. Yeah, looking back, he has never performed like this ever in his time in the league. Um, and I think that's due to Tyler Shuck, just well, also playing the Jets, but also Tyler Shuck Loki being the guy. Um,
Didn't Tyler Shuck throw the ball like 40 something times?
yeah, it was insane. I got so lucky that the like game script was just throw the ball. Literally, it was the Jacoby Brissett game. Like I don't remember how many pass attempts Jacoby Brissett had, but Tyler Shuck was getting damn near close at the end of this game. I was
Tyler
like, that is
Shuck.
nuts.
Tyler Shuck's final stat line, he was 32 for 49, 308
Insane.
passing yards, and one passing touchdown.
Yeah, and Chris Olave targeted 16 times, 10 receptions, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Like an absolute monster game. Um, so yeah, that's really all it came down to. If Chris Olave had like 20 less points, which it would be very average for him, then I would have lost. Um, so like huge shout out. Also huge shout out to Harold Fannin, as Brandon said, Bowling Green legend. Picked him up this week, and he has a monster game against Buffalo, which also um, could have sort of made or break, uh, maked or braked, I guess, um, this game for me. So huge shout out to Harold. Um, but yeah, that's the actual playoff games. The game of the century, though, was played in the toilet bowl against the numbers
Well, hang
game.
on, hang on. You're forgetting about
Oh, am I
the
forgetting something?
you're forgetting a couple of the games here, dude.
Oh,
You're
okay.
forgetting
Oh,
about the
okay. Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm so
you're
sorry.
forgetting the seventh place game and the fifth place game, which were low key kind of cinema.
True. All right. Well, which one would you like to touch on first?
I'll cover me and Will real quick.
That's fair. Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Me and Will, two teams that honestly could have very well like performed in the playoffs were it not for our horrible regular season showing. 131 to 147, Will getting the win there, finishing the season at the seventh spot. Um, this kind of came down to the guys who have been carrying me for the past couple weeks, Trey McBride and Travion, combining for like less than 9 points, which hasn't really happened a whole lot lately. So,
Yeah.
in all honesty, like I wasn't super upset by the way this kind of played out because I was like, like I really was a lock for the toilet bowl this year, and the fact that I kind of went on this burner at the end, if you can call it that, like made me happy enough. I'm proud of my team. Um, Will's guys just kind of had like again, this is pretty average for him. A nice 147 bomb. This is a team that honestly would have liked to see in the playoffs, but
Yeah.
hard
No,
fought win. A lot of respect for another expansion team. I don't know
I
if you have any thoughts on this.
But yeah, I definitely think you hit the nail on the head when you said like two teams that could have definitely stuck their way into the playoffs. I think that's sort of how I felt watching this game, being like, especially with Will, because I mean you had been eliminated, but Will got eliminated in the very last in rivalry week, and I was just sitting here watching this game of you two like putting up good, respectable numbers and just being like, damn, like these are two teams that I think fans would have really liked to see what they could have done if they had made it to the playoffs. I mean, you would have beaten me and Mick handedly. I would have beaten Alec as well. Either one of you. The only team y'all would have lost to would have been Enzo. So, um, I don't know. I thought that was it was fun to watch y'all. Two teams coming out of a little known city of Blacksburg. So that was a fun matchup to watch. That's my thoughts. I think moving on, we have what is this the fifth place game? So this is for fifth and sixth place.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, you're looking at Carson and Audie. Carson gets the win here, 151 to 142. And I think it just came down to Bijan having a good game. I mean, this was I do have to say like I, I Puka put up 46 points and I was like, God damn! Like, thank God I fucking got rid of Audie early on in the playoffs because I mean that I'm sure throughout many fantasy leagues where Puka was still in the playoffs that killed someone. Um,
Yeah, and then Lamar Jackson plays what, like 15 snaps and immediately gets injured, puts
yeah,
up 4.7 points, and Audie just barely loses his game.
God, I mean if you're a Ravens fan, I mean I you are like literally like asking for John Harbaugh's head. It's I this the Ravens season has got to be one of the more disappointing seasons I've seen for a team that had much higher expectations going um, in recent history. I mean, it's just like really disappointing. I think I
And
also have those thoughts, just like as
the,
my like brother's a Ravens fan.
the Ravens are just front loading the disappointment this year. It
Yeah,
was going to come either way, but they figured they'd get it out of the way before January.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Finish off early on in the season and look ahead, I suppose. But
Okay,
yeah,
now we can talk about the toilet bowl.
yeah, sorry, I got ahead of myself, but it's just because I mean, for everyone that was paying
This
attention,
game,
it was a game.
cinema.
Oh my gosh! I mean, the entire this game ended by the 4 o'clock games, and it was tight the entire way there. Like it was bouncing off between like I think that like the margins were like a 44% chance to win to a 50 like six like most of the day. Um, but man, I mean, what a game! John was projected to lose most of the day. I feel like, um,
Yeah,
and then it goes into these 4 o'clock games, and we're laughing because it's like, lol, he has to rely on Ashton Genty. But then the laughing stopped when he relied on Ashton Genty, and Ashton Genty had a legacy game for him. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that,
yeah, dude. This is John's uh second pick after he grabbed
Jamar?
geez, after he grabbed Jamar, that's right. So this is the 20th overall pick, Genty. All of us clowned him for this pick. And we were more or less right again, not because he's a bad player, but because he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage on like 60 to 70% of his runs,
Mm-hmm.
which is not a winning formula. And it was pretty much a fantasy liability all season. But when he needed him most, Ashton Genty dropped 31 points on two huge breakaway touchdowns. One of them was his only reception of the day was a 60-yard receiving touchdown, which was just him streaking down the sideline. I don't know how Geno Smith completed that pass because Geno is horrible, but he did somehow. And then he also ripped off I think it was like a 41-yard rushing touchdown. And then they lost to the Texans because it's the Raiders. They're gonna find a way to squander everything they have.
Yeah, and
But that,
I was gonna say, I mean, like for those not who weren't watching, it was this game. I mean, this game ended 153 to 149. And so you're looking at that. We watch we get the notification of the 60-yard receiving touchdown. We're like, oh fuck, it's over. And then Jalen Warren comes in with some like 45-yard rushing touchdown, and they're right back in it. And we're like, holy shit, this is like pure cinema. Genty does it again. Then Warren does it again for another touchdown, and it really came down like literally like if anything happened, if Cam Little had kicked a field goal, then like Alex was gonna win. Like so many little things could have
Yeah,
happened.
there was
Oh
a goal, there was like a red zone goal line like drive that sputtered out, but that was like there was another matchup. I think yeah, it was Kyle Pitts versus Drake London. If Drake London had gotten more targets,
yeah,
then Alex would have won. Like this was just it was one of those games where you don't see this every day, but it was like there were player matchups basically happening in this fantasy game. Like it almost feels like you're in some sort of like you're like you're in Madden. It's like we've got Ashton Genty versus Jalen Warren, something that will never happen ever. We've got Kyle Pitts versus Drake London. You've got even Jamar Chase versus Justin Jefferson. Like this was the toilet bowl always manages to be like an amazing game. This was the, dare I say it, the best game of the entire year.
I I don't think that's ridiculous to say. I mean, I'd love to look back. I think maybe for our listeners. We do plan on doing the pod. We haven't passed the season. I don't know how we've yet to like iron out the kinks to decide what we want to do. But I would love to look back on the season and like look at like what were like truly some of the best games of the season. But this is certainly up there. Um, so I think I'll end off with just congrats to John. Um, and better luck next time to Alex. I think I speak for the rest of the league when I say we are salivating at the thought of you in that high vis vest.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Ooh, it's gonna be good. I don't know when it's gonna happen. Alex, busy man. I'm sure he'll find the time to get himself near a body of water and and get himself a vest. But I'm very excited. So that was last week's games. Um, as we just said, cinema all the way through. Looking forward to playing Enzo in the championship. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I wanted to first talk, bring it to the NFL for a little, and talk about some of these some playoff scenarios and some stuff that matters in this week 17 games that we're looking to play this weekend. I think the first game I wanted to touch on, we'll go AFC and then NFC only because I don't I the Jaguars in the AFC and I care about that more. Um, but the first game that I think is really important is this Chargers Texans game. Now the Texans are currently looking. I mean it's they still have a chance if the Jaguars find a way to lose to the Colts or the Titans. I don't see that happening. Knock on wood. Um, but they certainly have a chance to steal the AFC South title from us. But you're looking at um, if the Chargers win, then they control their destiny against the Broncos, and because they play the Broncos in Week 18, and if that happens, then the Broncos will go from the 1 seed to a wild card team, which I think is just like so like legendary. Um, so I'm really excited for that. I do you have um any like if you want to bring it to the NFC or talk about some like an AFC game that
Yeah,
you've noticed?
we need to talk about the last two games that are going to decide the fate of two teams that have been kind of making some noise, the Panthers and the Bucks.
Oh,
So right now the Panthers, actually according to this NFL website, the Panthers, although they are in the hunt, they are not currently, they are predicted to have a lower chance to get in the playoffs than the Bucks do. However, this week the Panthers play the Seahawks,
mm,
and the Bucks play the Dolphins. It's very um, it is a non-zero possibility that this could be they could be right back to 8-8 apiece going into the final week of the season, and guess who they play? Each other. So this could be like the game to watch. 8-8 Panthers, 8-8 Bucks. Who can sneak their way? Full Steelers 9-8 in the playoffs once again.
I mean, I would love to see the Panthers find a way to beat the Bucks. I would love to see the Panthers find a way to beat the Seahawks. And I honestly, with just how crazy their ceiling seems to be this year, I don't even like count them out for this game.
Yeah.
Um, it's like the Panthers have shown to have one of the highest ceilings in the league, which is like I like as someone who had some faith in the Panthers this year, I certainly did not like expect that in the slightest. Um, but I certainly like whether the Panthers find a way to win or they lose to the Bucks, which would be disappointing. I mean, I think I think I'll be happy either way. Just as everyone knows, I've been glazing my me and Brandon's prediction of a second in the division Panthers this entire season, and I'm happy that they were able to just like exceed expectations one way or another. Um,
Another. Sorry, go
and,
ahead.
oh well, sorry. Let me look at what you call it, the playoff scenarios that I was looking at earlier. I think so. I mean the NFC is a lot more like tidied up than the AFC. I feel like the AFC has been
Yes.
like the AFC has been completely like flipped on its head this year. Like no one knows what's going on, and then the NFC you're looking at it, you're like, all right, you got you got the Rams and the Seahawks, and that division's pretty stacked. Um, and I mean honestly, but honestly besides the Niners, every team in the NFC that's like clinched a playoff berth, I'm like, all right, they look pretty solid. Um, I'm kind of hating on the Niners. Um,
I've always said on the Niners. That's extremely valid.
fuck the 49ers. Um, but yeah, I mean, like when you look at these playoff scenarios for the AFC East, it's like you, there's like scenarios where it goes down to um for like said the Texans for example, there's like scenarios where like they clinch, but they like they clinch a tie, and it has to go down to like strength of victory to determine if they um make the playoffs. But like that's like if the Colts beat the Jaguars and then they're still in the playoff race, and then the Colts and the Texans play in week 18, and if the Colts win, then I think the Colts would be in the playoffs and not the Texans, which would be honestly I hate the
Amazing.
Texans. So that would like bring me such joy, but unfortunately I don't think that's gonna happen. Um but I mean I don't think I have any other scenarios that like are particularly interesting to me, but um if you have one that you're looking at, then
Yeah, I mean everything's pretty tidied up. I mean it's more so a question of like if the season ended today, like we could look at some of these matchups. Some of these would be pretty interesting. If it were to end today with everything, which obviously it won't, but um at least in the NFC, you would get another NFC North, Bears versus Packers. This has
mm,
become like a pretty, even more of a heated rivalry this season just because they're both like doing pretty well. Um, they split the series home and home. Um, and this would be another Bears home game. So maybe the Packers looking for a little revenge. Hopefully they wouldn't get it. Um, my birds would play the uh Oh wait, hang on. I think I might have fucked this up. No, no, no. Okay, no. My birds would play the Rams, uh, another which we met in the playoffs last year. We all know how that went. But the Rams honestly gave us the most trouble out of any team that we faced. Pretty much after we beat the Rams, we just stomped everyone. So
mhm.
I would love to see another Rams Eagles game. Ain't nobody give a fuck about the 49ers. Um, but it would be Jags Bills.
Oh,
Some quarterback conversations there. Everyone loves to um, tie a team up to how much they like the their quarterback. So I'm sure this would be. I know your girlfriend's a Bills fan, so that would be
Yeah,
pretty similar there
that's like that
too.
was my first immediate thought. I'm like gonna have to like we can't watch that game together because like we would like be at each other's throats. um yeah, no, I think I didn't I haven't like looked at these sort of scenarios, but I did know about the Packers Bears one just because like I love like I've been loving like Ben Johnson as much as I like looking at like, Liam Cohen as well just because I sent something to Brandon and Mick where it was like post game for the Bears Packers game where Caleb Williams Iceman if you will put them away like with that
Oh, Iceman
beautiful
is his
pass.
nickname.
Yeah, you know him. Oh, it's so tough.
Oh, that's tough.
He does like an emote where he like shivers and like it's so tough.
Oh, I have seen that. Okay, so
Yeah,
that has
bro.
been
Like
his nickname.
yeah, he's
Oh yeah,
Iceman.
that's
It's
actually so cool.
right. Like it's like literally like the Bears Packers rivalry is so good for football.
Yeah.
Um, but like Ben Johnson's in it too. Like he's like dude is petty as hell and like I was watching like a breakdown of it like when the Packers beat the Bears um in their first game together. Um Matt LaFleur, who I think I know I'm not the biggest fan. I'm pretty sure Brandon does not fuck with Matt
Oh,
LaFleur.
you know how I feel about Matt LaFleur.
Yeah. So, but he like went in and like didn't even like in the first game like shook Ben Johnson's hand, but like didn't even like really look at him and just sort of like pat him on the shoulder and like kept walking. And so in like the second game, they like Ben Johnson basically does the same thing. Like Fleur like also like looks like he's like trying to like say something to Ben Johnson, but he just walks away, doesn't give him the time of day. And I'm like, oh my god, my petty
Love it.
king.
Yeah,
That
I
is
love it.
so tough. Um, so
Yeah,
like that game would
and
be awesome.
one thing about um professional sports in general is that, sometimes it's like it's two sides, right? Because on one hand, like these are professional players, ultimately it doesn't really matter these rivalries in the grand scheme of things. Like you are more or less just here to put on a performance, right? That's your own job, put on a performance and get paid to do so. However, like there's something really special about players actually getting into it
Hmm.
and like hating another team. Like when the Eagles and the Commanders fight happened, I loved it. And I was telling you guys when we were over at your house the other day about how the announcers didn't even bother to do like the whole, oh, we hate to see this. This is so bad for the
Hmm.
game. The announcers were like, yes, fight each other, beat his ass. Um, because the game was obviously pretty boring. It was like the Eagles starters versus the third string Commanders quarterback. So we were
Hmm.
just obliterating them. Um, uh, but I like it when players actually get into the rivalries and
Oh, 100%.
the coaches especially when I don't like a team like the Packers, then I can really be like, yeah, rocking with the Bears. Um, so that's just great for football, I think. I'm even though the NFL is, supposedly opposed to these things, like I'm 100 million% sure they're going to use it as like promo material because those little snakes will do anything for money.
Yeah, no, I like I mean it definitely like was lost for a while. Like I don't think even like me and you have never like really like experienced like some of like those rivalries, but like I mean back in the day like before like players would like up and leave for like new contracts to different teams and whatnot or like less often like these rivalries really mattered like the Ravens Steelers like rivalry was legendary and that was awesome but I feel like I mean at least for the Jaguars like our head coach has really found a way to like get these like boys riled up and like find shit to like get them mad and get them like wanting to go beat on the other
Dude,
fucking team.
dude, the Jags rival is like the American public.
Literally, dude, they like they literally want to like kill everyone. It's so fucking awesome. Like there's been like this chant where that people have been saying like Duval versus all y'all, and it has me so lit, bro. Um, but like there was another like when we played the Titans, which is technically the Jags rivalry, our rival. Our punter went up to a player, um, and was like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you." And like when your punter's going out there and gets that fucking lit at a game, like that's how you know you have a good culture in the locker room and throughout the organization. And then the like post game, the Titans players were like bitching. I mean, like, bro, I've never experienced a player like that. Like, acting like, yes, you have, bro. You're telling like I experienced people like saying worse on like in Cascades flag football games. Like, um, I don't know. I think it's great. Obviously, you don't want to like see people like actively like killing each other on the field. Like, you have to like keep it to the game, of course. But um, when you can bring that sort of intensity, it's always fun. So
Yeah,
that's my
one hundred
thoughts.
percent. All right, we wanna wrap up this holiday special with a little championship preview.
Yeah, I would love to. I think me and Enzo, this is the only two people that this brings any Christmas cheer to. But I'll try to keep it light and happy for our listeners. This game has been compared to Hitler versus Stalin.
Agree with
It
that.
is brutal. We currently you have me fighting for my second consecutive win versus Enzo, who I can't remember. Did Enzo made it to the semis last year, or was it just the quarterfinals? Do you remember?
Enzo, didn't he lose to Audi?
And then Audie played. Yeah, I think then I played Audie so he played. Yes, you're right. He played. Oh wait, no. Last year he played me in the semis and lost to me. I put up
Hmm.
214 on his dome piece.
Oh my lord. Dude, the eight team league was something else.
Yeah, highest in this for the season. And then I put up 150 against Audie, but I think I could have done better. I just took out my tight end so that there was absolutely no chance I could lose. Um but yeah, so we're looking at a rematch of last year's semifinal game. Um Currently I'm projected to win. Um but I think the biggest things going on right now, you're looking at for me, Josh Jacobs. For some reason, stupid ass, bitch ass Matt LaFleur, he like stated after the game. So Josh Jacobs got like half the amount of carries he usually does in a game. Um, and everyone was like, well, like what's happening? Like, was it an injury? Matt LaFleur was like, oh no, like it's just punishment because he wasn't like running as hard as I guess Emmanuel Wilson was. Um, But so now we're like, is Emmanuel Wilson gonna get the touches next week? Um, my dumbass decided to complain about this at um at the hangout that we did where we were watching, and Enzo was there, and I said I'm gonna have to pick up Emmanuel Wilson, and so Enzo, chief rage baiter, decided he was gonna pick up Emmanuel Wilson instead, before I could. So that's what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with my RB1.
Bro,
Um,
Matt LaFleur actually pisses me off because, like, dude literally acts like he's fucking Bill Belichick.
Dude,
He's
he's
like,
so annoying.
he's so annoying.
And like you know what? Like when you like decide to not fucking hand the ball off to your RB1, like maybe you're gonna fucking like they were complaining and like I know that game came down to like them muffing an onside kick and all that stupid shit. Um, but like maybe the game would be close if you decided just to not use your starting running back in the second half. Um, Dealing with that. Dealing with Kyron Williams coming off a game where he only put up 11 points and Blake Corum did better than him. So like I'm sitting here like is Kyron Williams gonna have um more or less touches? I mean Blake Corum and Kyron were just they were putting them in every other drive. Which if that's the formula next week against the or this week against the Falcons, I think I'm a little screwed. Um, but other than that, I think like something that we've been stating is that I like a lot of my players have really good matchups going into this week, and Enzo is dealing with a lot of bad matchups for his like individual players. So why don't you talk to us a little bit more about Enzo's team?
Yeah, Enzo's team, it's what I mean, we pretty much have been talking about it like it's this tier, like the third or fourth best team right now, and it really is. But again, I think he's just got enough guys who approach their averages every week that he kind of just gets away with it. You
Mm,
know, RJ Harvey had like a great game last week, but he's kind of been doing that. It's for him, it's usually like 10-point game, 20-point game, 10-point game, 20-point game, maybe like 8-point game, 22-point game. Pretty much all of his players are kind of like that. Fuck ass Derrick Henry can't stop fumbling the ball. But even with him doing that, he's still dropping like 22 points a game. Joe Burrow just has to air that bitch out every single game.
mm,
Um, and he's not playing difficult opponents. Joe Burrow's playing against the Cardinals next week. So like I think Enzo has done a pretty good job to build a solid floor team. Um, to where if your guys don't if you have like a Josh Jacobs game where he puts up like a stinker, like that's going to significantly impact your ability to win the game. Because generally speaking, Enzo's guys will guide him to that 120, 130 minimum, and then maybe go beyond that and start pushing like the 140 mark. So I honestly think Enzo will win, um,
fair.
even though Sleeper does not agree with me. Um, but I think that remains to be seen. That's kind of my thoughts on his team. I wouldn't have picked them over the other playoff teams in the berth, but here he fucking is. So
Yeah, I mean it literally like if he had. I mean, I guess he would have beaten Will this week, but like it kills me that he like the way he got to his side of the playoff
it was that first
schedule.
round game that was rough. Like
Yeah, if,
if he
if he
had
had if he wasn't playing, if he didn't have the bye and it like I said, the regular season matters. But like Joe Burrow had a 7 point game. Like Ted McMillan, I think had like a 4 point game. Like he would have lost round one if he um wasn't here. I think his team is looking to have like a few more holes than it did say during the regular season. I think it was firing on all cylinders, but then like Emeka Buka just for some reason fell off a cliff um around where was it week like after he was having a great season, and then you look after week 10, it's 9 points, 6 points, 8 points, 3 points, 10 points, 5 points. Like he completely fell off a cliff, and that was a player that Enzo could. He was still a little like up and down, but he could ride. Like his ceiling was so high for so long, and that was someone he was relying on. Um, but also like interesting enough to me, like I'm surprised he's going um with Brenton Strange over Tyler Warren. Um, like I mean, like I hope I don't sway his opinion one way or another if he listens to this pod. Um, but like I think like the Jaguars have been one of these teams that sort of like the Bears that like just sort of like gets the ball around to a lot of players, and it's just really hard to tell who's gonna perform each week. Um, However, with Tyler Warren, and I guess maybe I haven't really looked at his team on like whether or not Tyler Warren's been having a bad
well,
like second half,
one thing to
but
think about with Tyler Ward is Enzo and I were actually joking about this the other day at your place. We were like, well, now that Philip Rivers is his quarterback, like Phil guys from Philip Rivers' time don't like throwing to tight ends. Like that's just like the
that's
truth.
fair. That's
Like
fair.
so like that's why he was actually like low key kind of
High
galaxy
IQ.
brain because like genuinely like dudes from Rivers' era like don't be throwing to tight ends like that.
Damn it. I guess yeah. I guess he has been having a bad 3 weeks. I didn't look at it, man. Well, I guess you know what I I mean, I'd love to see Brenton Strange have a good game, even though I'm playing him because I think he's a dog. But we'll see. I think that tight end spot is a like spot to look at. Especially, I think I picked up Dylan Sampson earlier today just because Quinshon Judkins broke his leg, and Dylan Sampson's back from injury. Um, I think he could like he could stand to get like a lot of touches, but like we'll see. Um, but and then like I'm also looking at that like Dylan Sampson was big in the pass game, and so like does Harold Fannon's production drop because of that? Um, I don't know. I'm very interested to see like what happens there. Oh, Evan McPherson pickup.
I realized I needed to continue my streak of picking up a kicker during the episode.
um, but I mean, I I think I have a chance to get the two peat going. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so it's very exciting, very interesting. I think that's where we'll leave off the episode. Thank you everyone for listening in. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas Eve and an even more merry Christmas tomorrow. So thank you all
many
for
many
tuning in.
presents.
Many good tidings, if you would. So yeah, thank y'all very much for listening. And I'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.